Hello, everyone, and welcome to Migrant Munch. My name is Dr. Sharika Senamiratna, and I'll be your host on this podcast. On every episode, I will be sitting down with someone who's moved to a new country. They've made a home away from what they used to call home. Let's dive into today's story. Welcome everyone to the Migrant Munch. We're here today for our first episode. My name is Sharika and I'll be your host on this podcast. So we've got our very first guest here with us today. We've got Niranjala Selfawareness. So Niranjala, I'll get you to say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, and thank you very much, Sharika, for giving me this opportunity to be your guest. I really appreciate that.
So Niranjala is going to tell us her story, a very, very inspiring story that really touched my heart as well. And so that's why we wanted to give you the chance, Niranjala, to come here and talk about your experience.
Sure. I was born in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Sri Lankan background. My both parents are Sri Lankan, but they moved to Italy a long time ago. So I got an older sister. We lived in Italy for 7 years, but unfortunately, my father got sick. My mom had to look after my father, myself, and my sister at the same time working as well. So it was quite hard for her to manage everything. My mom took us to Kandy and went for a private school boarding hostel. So it was a very shocking cultural difference there. Didn't know how to speak the language, didn't know how to communicate in our own language. During holidays, there was a teacher who came in and taught us Sinhala as well. As kids, we didn't really expect that experience, but then mom had to leave us and now go back to Italy, being emotional, but at the same time, she had to take that responsibility. We were crying, and then somehow we survived for 5 years in the hostel, and then mom eventually came every year to visit us to Sri Lanka, and grandmother as well. She's my role model, my grandmother. She's been such a strength to me and my sister and to my mother. She looked after us. She was living quite far away from Kandy, and then she came to visit us most of the time, taking us when there's a holiday, parents meeting, everything. She's the one who sacrificed her life for us as well. And then after 5 years, my mom kind of got upset that we are struggling at the boarding school. So she bought a house in Kandy, and then we moved to that house with two caretakers. I used to handle finance at home. Mom used to send money, so paying for the caretakers, electricity bill, utilities, food, and everything. So I used to note down in a book, this is how much I got from my mother. These are the expenses. So at the 30th of each month, this is how much left in my hand. I started doing that probably around age 12 to 13. I wanted to pursue a career in accounting. When I was age 21, I moved to Sydney. My mom actually, she's the one who funded me financially for my degree. I think probably she would have spent $100,000 at that time. So I felt really bad that she had to send that much of money without my dad's assistance. So I thought I will somehow win this game. I fast track my degree within 2 years. I started looking for a job in Sydney because it was very competitive. I decided I will go to Darwin because it's a regional area. So I ended up getting a graduate portion in a media firm. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, they helped me to get the permanent residency as well. So because I have never been to Melbourne and decided I'll come to Melbourne, so I will feel more homely in Melbourne. I used to work in a boutique firm again next to PwC.
Mm-hmm.
So PwC was my dream. Like I have worked myself really hard with other jobs. I was preparing myself and then applied like throughout that year up until 2022. I applied for 15 jobs, got rejected. Nothing, not even first interview. In 2022, I got a invitation for a position that I applied, one of the teams. On the first interview, I got rejected again. After that, like around June, July 2022, another talent acquisition team member reached out and I went through the all three interviews and I got through and then they offered me the position and I accepted in 2022 and I started working there. And you don't know like what life is throwing at you. I worked for Seafood Advisory for 1 year, and the team who rejected me got me into a manager position to work on a really large client. That client is the biggest client in that team. While I was working there, it was an unfortunate incident happened, but I don't think it's unfortunate. What it is like that's what meant to happen. I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in 2023. I didn't share with anyone except for my family. I had a fear that if I tell my workplace that I will be judged as weak. No one knew at work that I was diagnosed. And 2024, I decided to PwC and I wanted to focus on my health. So I went to Sri Lanka because I couldn't get a proper answer whether it's cancer or not through biopsy. And then the third time I did it in Sri Lanka, and then the reports came out as it's a cancer. I decided I will come back to Australia and do the operation. As soon as I heard that it could be a cancer, I knew like I need to go through a operation to remove it. At that time, I upgraded my private health insurance, but I had to like wait for 12 months to get the benefit. But I didn't think about it then straight away. In July, I decided to do the operation because cancer, you never know like where it's going to end up, and didn't want to take a risk. And my sister, she's the one actually advised me like don't just go for the operation regardless of the money out of pocket, around $12,000. Got my operation done in July last year. After the operation, I felt like no, I need to take some time off. I decided to go to Italy and spend a couple of months with my mom, and my family lives there in Rome. Spent some time, traveled around Europe, and came back to Australia.
Wow, that's I don't even know where to start in summarizing how to feel with that story because there's just so much in there that you have been through and so much of resilience that I think you have shown in how you coped with all the challenges that came your way. I'd really like to know a bit more about why you decided to come forward with your story. What inspired you to tell this story?
Because I felt like in corporate world, like we have to like tell a lot of stories, and we are hiding everything behind the doors. And then I felt like there are a lot of women and migrant here, like not only in Australia but across the world, struggling silently. So I just wanted to make a space for them as well, and for me to like be myself. Authenticity is not there, like when you're hiding things. I don't feel comfortable, to be honest, lying. So I decided I'll be honest, make a space for women like myself or who's struggling with their illness. It could be illness, burnouts, or anything, especially for migrants, women who come like young professionals.
And I think you've done exactly that from our conversation so far, and just seeing how much you've created online in terms of
Mm.
awareness of the things that we go through, not only as migrants, but as maybe as women and as people in the corporate world as well. And I think that's just amazing to kind of see how you've created that platform for people to feel safe to approach you and also for people to come forward with their problems as well. Like that is not easy to do, to come forward, especially with a story that's so powerful and has so many challenges and so many moving parts like yourself, right? From I guess from growing up in Italy to then having to move to Sri Lanka and then coming to Australia and then having this diagnosis as well. There's a lot there.
I'm really grateful that because we wouldn't have this opportunity today if I was like if the cancer was like spread into my lymph nodes. So I'm really grateful for the life and everything that I went through. Um, I think resilience is like what I felt like throughout my journey, regardless whatever life throwing at me. At some point, like I felt down. I used to like sit on the floor crying, like when there was like pressure from work, like I was stressed out. Even though I fall down, I always want to stand up. So I'm really inspired about my journey.
And that's an important point that I think we all need to keep in mind, right? No matter how hard life gets, you have to keep waking up. You have to
Yeah,
keep
I mean,
facing every day.
there were like so many times that I felt like no, I don't want to live in this world. I don't have any strength to like go move forward. I have like felt so many times, but again, like thinking that no, you need to like push yourself. So I have always kept pushing myself, trying to survive in this world.
So sorry to hear that you felt that way and that everything that you faced so far made you feel that way. But look at how far you've come and look at where
Yeah.
you are now.
Yes. I mean, like it's as humans, I think it's pretty
I'm so
normal
sorry.
to feel these things. I know, like, especially young generation, everyone's like mentality, resilience, it's different for every person.
Just off of that as well, if there was three things that you could tell young people that we now see who are going through so many different types of problems compared to what we would have gone through when we were their age, what are the top three things that you would tell them?
Um, Number one is it's okay to fail because I've failed so many times in different scenarios. It's part of your journey. You shouldn't take it as a weakness. It's okay to be vulnerable as well because at the end of the day, we are all humans. We are doing as much as we can, like to our best ability. That's number two. And then just keep going, regardless whatever happens in your life. Always believe in yourself. Push yourself. If you going through something difficult. I think that's part of life, up and downs, and failure is like not a weakness or anything. Even if you see like a lot of success people, they failed more than anything than they achieved. So it's okay to fail.
I think it's so important to also remember that when you leave for university or to find a better life or whatever the hope is, it's so important to remember that that in itself takes courage. And I think a lot of people forget that. They forget to kind of think about that.
So yeah, I think that's part of the life that you're going to go through when you go to another country. So you need to understand it's not your like home, to like understand that you need to adapt to a new culture, new country, and then before like even coming deciding to like go to a new country, I think it's best for them to like understand it's going to be challenging and everything and have that mindset of opportunities like countries like Australia. You can have a better life if you push yourself.
I'm also interested to know a little bit about how you felt going from a country like Italy to Kandy in Sri Lanka, and
Mm.
then the decision to move to Sydney to start with, and then you went to Darwin, and then you moved to Melbourne. What was that like?
I think because it gave me initial because from going from Italy to Sri Lanka, that I think that point in time we started like getting used to like different culture, different language. So it gave me like really good foundation from there. I think more than that, my grandmother and my mother, they're very courageous women. I think that that came into me as well, like my mother's resilient courage and everything. I saw like how my mom took responsibility when dad got sick. So she actually looked after us and then gave the best education for us. And it's very important to, I would say, for young women or anyone, educate yourself and be independent. I think it gives you a lot of courage to.
I'm also very interested in knowing what drove your decision to come to Australia.
It was a lot of competition getting into university in Sri Lanka. So I was thinking like either I will go to UK or I will come to Australia. But luckily, one of my sister's friend, she was in Australia, in Sydney at the time. So then my mom was comfortable because she was there, and I lived with them for a couple of years. They've been like really important people in my life.
Sounds like a support system is a big part of that,
Yes.
of a migrant's journey as well.
Yeah, having a support system in this in a new country, it's really important. Yeah, not having family was quite hard as well.
But it sounds like you've coped really well and you formed a little bit of a support system for yourself here.
Yeah, there were like a lot of people around in Melbourne helped me.
Amazing. Just listening to your story, listening to you being so open to coming forward with your story is going to inspire so many people.
Yeah, I want to thank all the people who connected me through social media, LinkedIn. I received, I think, more than 100, 200 messages, like comments. I want to thank everyone and just to let everyone know that you're not alone. Like, this is part of life, everyone going through something.
Everyone's got different battles they're facing, and
Yeah.
it's hard to know if everyone's going through things if no one's
Mhm.
talking about it, right? If no
Yes.
one's talking about what's going on, you just assume people are okay,
Mm.
but they're
And then
not.
I've from this experience, like life experience, what I felt is like if you speak up and be open, I think you will open more doors in your life to meet like genuine people, um like connect with humans like yourself, like you reached out to me. So it was like really um appreciate for taking the initiative and connect with me and send you sent me the message like you are inspired about my story, and like you never know when you open up like how many good humans out there when we are in a world like cruelty, like ego based people are so many of them are like that. But it's so good to see like human like yourself and other people who reached out to me.
Oh, thank you, Niranjala. I think you've inspired me as well. As I said before, you really inspired me to build this platform for people to come forward with their stories because it just
Mhm.
goes to show that you just have to be honest and authentic.
Yeah. In this world, like there are going to be people who admire you, who criticize you, or it's part of life. You can't please everyone. So whoever going to appreciate you for who you are, they're going to be there for you. But whoever like going to criticize you or like look down on you, they're just gonna do it. Like you just can't stop. You're not here to like please them.
I think you also end up spending so much of energy just trying to please people, and that's just going to negatively impact you, right? Because you're just spending your time on the wrong things.
Yeah, true.
I also wanted to know, looking back at your journey, is there anything that you would have done differently?
Um, I felt that I have been too quiet like throughout my life. And I think it's affecting your confidence levels as well. Like when you're not like opening up. I remember like I used to when I was living in Sydney, I used to be like very shy girl. Um, like from moving forward, I'm not scared to like share my failure, then sharing my positive achievements.
It's just amazing to see how much you reflected on your journey and how far you've come and how much resilience you've shown and where that's led you to as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's next?
Uh, I really want to like, be assistant to even like one person out there who's struggling quietly, who's going through like, illness like cancer or anything. I want to be if I can be assistant to any person, I'm happy to like, be there and talk to them um, and then share my journey with them. It's I just want to give a hope to people who are struggling, to be honest.
And I have no doubt that people are going to be reaching out to you and seeing you as a way to feel safe, to talk
Mhm.
about their stories, and to be honest, like you
Yeah,
said.
yeah. You could like conquer the whole world if you be honest and be open and be yourself. Because I wasn't up until this point, and I felt like it has closed a lot of doors for me. My throughout my life up until this point, but now like I'm just like breaking everything and then going forward with who I am. Was following a different mindset. Like I need to like, please the whole world, like showing only my achievements. Um, but that I felt that a lot of doors actually closed for me. Now, like I feel like now it's opening so much room to talk, like room to like improve, learn from different people. So I think it's a lot of power if you speak the truth.
The power of truth, just how much you can change by just being honest about the world is not all about achievements. You're not going to always do everything right. There are
Yeah,
going to be days when you're not feeling like it or you're not feeling like, you're going to achieve something.
yeah. I think yeah, especially like in our like culture, like South Asian culture and mentality, it's different. Like when we growing up in that culture, but that's not the world we are living anymore. I would encourage anyone who's like watching it to be open up and honest and share your feelings, talk to someone. Like you never know who's going to help you next, who's going to be there for you next. So talk to people, be honest, share your story. You can conquer the whole world.
Yeah. And you never know what doors are going to open up, right?
Yes, yes, that's exactly, and
And
that's what I felt. Specifically, like it gives you a lot of confidence to be yourself. That's what important. Like people who are struggling with their confidence, if they feel like, no, I can't do this, I'm not like worth doing this. Like, you can have this type of doubts about yourself, but don't doubt it. Believe in yourself. You can do it.
honestly, thank you so much, Niranjala. I think you've inspired a lot of people. And, this is another way that they can open up, tell their story. This is a reason why I was inspired as well to start this podcast, is to give people the platform to come forward with their stories, because no one's going to know if you don't talk about it. No one's going to know what you're going through, how much
Yeah.
you've conquered,
Yeah.
right? And the achievements, the failures, all of it. And so I really appreciate it.
Just if you feel like you're not doing enough at a certain point in time, self-awareness and reflect of what you have been through so far, and it will tell you the whole story that you have gone through. Self-awareness is very important.
Yeah, and I know we said we were going to end up, but now I feel like I have to ask this question. How do you reflect? What kind of tips can you give to people to reflect?
um, I know like so many people must be like having kids, having family. They might not be able to like, find time, but I think it's really important to have time for myself. I think if you stop and pause for some times or like, think about the journey you have been and things that you have gone through, things that you have, how you have achieved, it will give you more clarity to move forward. So I think it's very important to have your own time, think about yourself, self-awareness, like how you're going to like approach your next challenge, and then think about like what you have gone through.
The reason why I asked that question was because us, or like myself as an organizational psychologist, through our training, we do a lot of reflection on how we feel, how we've done in a session, and so on, right? So I think from what I've seen is most people don't understand how to reflect, and it's so great to hear from someone else who's not in this profession that they reflect, they are becoming self-aware, and I think it's a very important practice for people in general to start doing, to kind
Yeah,
of pay attention.
yeah, at least like before you go to bed or when you get up in the morning, that's what I do.
Yeah.
So how far I have come, like what can I improve? What do I need to do to improve myself? Do I need to read? Do I need to study anything? Or how can I like, treat people? Am I being like a nasty person to someone, or have I been like really nice to this person? Why did I do that? Like it gives you a lot of growth for your own personality. So I believe like it's really good to talk to yourself, even with your mind. You don't have to like be loud or anything. Just speak to yourself from your mind, either like in the morning or in the night. I always do that.
Great. Thank you so much, Niranjala. It's been amazing to hear your story, to get to know you, and to bring you on board this podcast to give you a chance to tell your story and build awareness of how important resilience is, how important self-awareness is, and how important it is to just wake up and never give up on the challenges that you face. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Migrant Munch. Now, if you loved this conversation, please do follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, and leave a rating or review. We'll see you next time.